Zelda. Hello everyone! Welcome to this video. In this video, I'll be reacting to one of the early uploads from the YouTube channel The Theorists. This video came out in the year 2016, so I think it's around 5 years ago. I'm a huge fan of their work and I hope that you will enjoy this video as well. Let's start.
Let's get real. There aren't a lot of franchises that have a pedigree that can stand up against Nintendo's fairy tale fantasy, The Legend of Zelda. The franchise has been going on since 1986, and across dozens of installments in the series, Nintendo hasn't been afraid to experiment with their golden Triforce. They've completely changed the series' graphical style, framed the gameplay around looping time mechanics, and plopped the player in the middle of an ocean without a second thought. But perhaps the single biggest way the Zelda franchise has evolved over the years is through the way that we, the players, control Link. Newer consoles like the Wii, 3DS, and Wii U have offered up whole new ways to play Zelda, but is that really any better than the old school analog controls? Should we be stabbing, swinging, and slingshotting our way through Hyrule, or should we just all be leaving that to the A button? Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome to DeadLock!
Wow, DeadLock! Welcome to DeadLock! Oh my god, that debate is going to be awesome. Yeah! DeadLock! Versus debate. A new opponent has arrived. Challenger approaching.
My body is ready.
Not ready for this. Let's start this off easy, Reggie.
Oh, Reggie! No! He actually appeared.
The classic controls in The Legend of Zelda are a well-known established control scheme. The Legend of Zelda franchise has been going on for nearly 30 years. That's an
No, nearly 30 years. This video came out 5 years ago. That means it must have already been more than 30 years already.
insanely long amount of time. And for the first 20 years of this 3-decade run, the Zelda games had consistent controls that felt like second nature. You pick up a Zelda game, your thumbs settle in for the long haul, and you're immersed in Hyrule. One button attacks, other buttons for items, simple, intuitive. So intuitive, in fact, that a lot of times the Zelda analog controls became the industry standard. Just look at Z targeting in Ocarina of Time. It pioneered an elegant solution for combat in a 3-dimensional space. It's brilliant, Reggie.
Prepare yourself. Congratulations are coming. I thought it's like winter is coming.
Brilliant. Truly brilliant.
Well, thanks, Matt.
Then why fix what ain't broken?
Seems like the table has turned.
Twilight Princess on the Wii was the first time we really started to see these motion controls start to creep into these games, waggling our way to victory. But if something works, then why reinvent the wheel?
Well, the thing about a franchise with a long history is that as a player, you shouldn't be doomed to keep repeating the same thing the same way. You need to use what's great about the series to make it even better, fresher, more immersive. And at Nintendo, one way we do this is through our control systems. New control inputs mean that all our developers, Zelda included, can come up with new and interesting ways to design puzzles or battle scenarios, and that would have been flat out impossible in older systems, older games, and yeah, on other consoles. If you want
Ooh, shots fired!
an example from Zelda, look no further than Skyward Sword. With the one-to-one controls offered by the Wii Motion Plus, Nintendo was able to design enemies that could only be attacked from specific angles. They were able to incorporate doors that would only open if you moved your controller in a specific way. Those sorts of innovations would have been impossible just 15 years ago, and it allows Nintendo to give more control to the player than ever before. That's good change, not bad.
Sure, and we're talking about when it's done right.
Oh.
But the problem with a lot of this is that it...
You're technically correct. You are technically correct.
feels imprecise. You cannot beat the accuracy of classic controls. I push the button, boom, it happens on screen. You say the goal is immersion, but nothing takes me out of a game faster than when you try to input something correctly and it just doesn't work. Whether it's caused by batteries running low, a glare on the sensor, or just my body being too frail to waggle correctly.
What's more immersive? Pressing a button and swinging a sword in the same motion every time? Or engaging in a real one-to-one sword battle with a skeleton pirate king on top of a desert ghost ship?
That battle was really cool.
And if we're talking about accuracy, look no further than Super Mario.
Very strong, the accuracy is.
The Wii U gamepad and its touch controls paved the way for games that have allowed us to do things that you would never want to do with an analog controller. Could you imagine designing a level in Super Mario Maker with just a 4-way controller and a B button? And look at Splatoon! You'd be hard-pressed to find a serious Splatoon player who doesn't aim with the gyroscope.
Sure, with some games it makes total sense, but with Zelda? Convince me, Reggie, convince me. The human body is not ready. It's an inaccurate machine.
Shots fired! Pew pew pew!
Your arms can shake, your hand-eye coordination might not be the best, and we aren't surgeons here, so our hands aren't always going to be steady enough to pull a 2-pixel-wide arrow shot. Input technology like motion or touch that relies on these sorts of things can be infuriating. Many a time have I struggled to hit that clay pot with an...
Okay, not sure if you understand the reference. I smell pottery. Because Link in the games will destroy all potteries. Because, yeah, the content inside the potteries are what he's looking for, so yeah. I smell pottery.
Arrow simply because the crosshairs on the screen were too jittery. Gross movements work well, like sword fighting, but fine aiming, it can get tough. It can get really tough. Any response, Reggie?
Get good, Matt. Get good.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's the way it's gonna be. The gloves are coming off. Let's talk about lag, shall we? Older controllers were wired, meaning that there was less input lag. Every gamer knows that their biggest enemy, wherever it comes from, is lag. And motion controls slow the gameplay experience way down. Way down, Reggie.
Matt, you're clearly reaching. If you're missing attacks, that's on you, not the controller. And most controllers haven't been wired for the better part of the last decade, Nintendo or otherwise.
Do you even game, bro?
Forget the time you made.
But so many people misuse motion controls or insert them arbitrarily.
It's not a bug, it's the feature. That's clever, that's clever. It's not a bug, it's just a feature.
In games in what comes off as a gimmick. Or worse, just don't make the games because it's too difficult to figure out how to use these new control schemes properly. What do you do then, Reggie?
There's always going to be a learning curve with these sorts of things, as people and developers adjust and adapt to a new way of doing things. But the great thing about motion and touch is how many more options are available and open to us simply because you're no longer limited by physical buttons. A touchscreen can be literally any number of buttons at any time. And Skyward Sword was one of the first times you had the ability to move your sword in a precise angle in ways that would be simply impractical or impossible with traditional controllers.
But are you missing the forest for the trees? There are still opportunities to innovate with Zelda while still using classic controls. Just look at the critically acclaimed Link Between Worlds, a game that, for the most part, had a traditional control scheme. The innovation there came from how the dungeons used the depth and wall mechanics. It's a great game, very unique, and still no need to mix it up with unnecessarily complicated controls.
But think about the bigger picture here, Matt.
I see you have missed the bigger picture.
Well, you as a battle-hardened
Rasengan!
gamer may look at the old school controller and be able to pick it up no problem. Think about those.
You know why you raised me off? Rasengan! Then Dotong, Doryoheki! Then oh my god, so sorry for the Naruto reference.
who are unfamiliar with video games and want to give it a shot. A new gamer who wants to play through Ocarina of Time might not know where to begin with N64's three-prong controller.
Alright, I'll concede the point. I've known dozens of people who gave up on gaming when it made the jump to 3D because there were just too many button inputs. It's easy for us today to just assume that these things are intuitive because so many of us grew up with a controller in our hands. But each button you add, each dimension you include, you change the game for everyone.
Exactly. And on the other hand, controllers like the Wii Remote and the Wii U Gamepad are far more approachable because they look like everyday items that are already lying around the house. A TV remote or a tablet. What's more, they're incredibly intuitive to use. If you're running around Skywalk with your sword and shield, and you swing your remote, of course Link is going to swing his sword just like you do. It makes all the sense in the world. Nintendo believes in the future of gaming by creating games that are inclusive and give everyone a chance to play.
Oh, that's important. Inclusive so that everybody can play. Good job, Nintendo. Do remember that this video came out in 2016, so yeah.
I totally respect and
You, sir, have my respect.
appreciate that. I think that what Nintendo does for the gaming industry is so important. But my fear, quite honestly, is for you and the health of your company, Reggie. You create these fantastic games that are fun and bright and inclusive, but I worry that they just get hampered down by the need for non-traditional control schemes. Your emphasis on fun and inclusion and innovation are all things that I personally believe in, and I want you guys to be around for a long time to come, but I don't want motion controls to be the thing that ruins otherwise good games.
You yourself, Matt, have said in your videos the importance of innovating with the times, not just doing the same thing over and over again. And if we can figure out new ways to immerse the player by giving them new controls, why wouldn't we do that? After 20 years, would you really want another Zelda game that's just more of the same, or would you want something that dares to be different? You mentioned the success of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. And while part of its success was the new gameplay, another key part of its success was us being willing to shake up the Zelda formula by opening up the world and making it non-linear. And as a result, it's consistently ranked as one of the best Zelda titles across the franchise's history. Not just by websites and reviewers, but by fans. Fans here on YouTube. And we're doing it again with Zelda Wii. What's great about Zelda Breath of the Wild is we put the power in the player's hand.
True, you put the powers in the player's hands, giving the power to the players. That's important. That's important.
For them to explore this vast world any way they want. It's an opportunity for you to do what you want in this fabulous world that's living, breathing, teeming with adventure. Is innovating a risk? Yes, always. But are we willing to take that risk in order to deliver better games to gamers everywhere? Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, we have reached deadlock. Now the decision is in your hands. How should Nintendo continue with the Zelda series? Should they continue to innovate, finding different and interesting ways to change up the series moving forward, or rewind back to their roots and create a new game with traditional controls?
I have to say that the traditional controls is good, but innovation is even better. Thus, there's something called I'm not gonna spoil it, but you know, this video is 5 years ago, 2016, so there's a lot of innovation from then. Since then, yeah.
Click on one to choose or tell us what you think in the comments below.
Yeah. So my opinion is Mappa is wrong. Innovation is good. Change is good. So that we can improve on the previous stuff. Yes. But hey, that's just my theory. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you do like this video. If you do like this video, please consider to like and share and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. Thank you. Just comment down below. And yeah, this video the video that I just reacted to came from the YouTube channel The Game Theorists. I hope that you like this video as well and show support and appreciation for their work. But hey, that's just a wait, this is a DeadLock. Okay, I'm gonna do it anyways. But hey, that's just a DeadLock. Thanks for watching. That's weird. Anyways, I'm gonna do it. Game theory. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Actually should be DeadLock, right? Yeah, I think it's supposed to be DeadLock. Is it in game? Nah, DeadLock. My bad.